1,700 criminal, illegal aliens have been released. And it ain't pretty. A book aimed at 5-year-olds claims abortion is a superpower. And the left is now freaking out about a paint color. Yeah. Welcome to the Jay Sheldon Show. Oh my goodness, it is, isn't it? Tuesday, second day of the week, off we go, another live episode. And, I just realized we're at 910, episode 910? Only 90 shows away from our 1,000th episode. How about that? Cool beans, huh? All right, we got all that and more coming up this morning. Welcome into the show. Finally, good morning, Marilyn. I think Danny sent a message she was going to be out in court or something today. It's fine, but she'll be watching the VOD. So welcome to you. Later on down the pike, we are live on X and Rumble. And if you're new to the show, just please give us a follow or a subscribe. It's free, and maybe a thumbs up too while you're sitting there watching. All right. Oh, man. Governor Pritzker's sanctuary, Illinois, has released more than 1,700 criminal illegal aliens, including murderers, pedophiles, and kidnappers. Oh, yeah. They're free out there roaming the streets. These sanctuary policies that release criminal illegals back into the streets put every single one of our lives on the line. Something has to stop. This simply cannot continue. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, otherwise known as ICE, the Director Todd Lyons sent a letter to Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul calling on him to put the safety of Americans first and honor ICE arrest detainees of more than 4,000 criminal illegals in the state's custody, including murderers, sexual predators, and those convicted of or charged with weapons offenses. Yeah. It's a great bunch of upstanding citizens there, folks. Illinois' failure to honor the ICE detainers has resulted in over 1,700 criminal illegal aliens since January 20th released. Free to go. Have a nice day. The crimes of these aliens? 5 homicides. 141 assaults, 23 burglaries, 4 robberies, 24 dangerous drug offenses, 15 weapons offenses, and 10 sexual predatory offenses. Yeah, this is the group they just let back on the streets. There are currently over 4,000 aliens in the custody of an Illinois jurisdiction with no active detainer. Crimes of these aliens? Unbelievable. In September, ICE sent a letter to Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul, asking for cooperation in honoring these ICE detainers on criminal illegals. And his office, you know what they said? Crickets. They didn't respond. Governor Pritzker and his fellow Illinois sanctuary politicians are releasing these murderers and pedophiles and kidnappers right back out into our neighborhoods and putting American lives at absolute risk. Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin said, "We're calling on Pritzker and his administration to stop this dangerous derangement and commit to honoring the ICE arrest detainers of more than 4,000 criminal illegal aliens in an Illinois custody. It's common sense," she says. Wouldn't you think? If nothing else, it's absolutely common sense. Criminal illegal aliens, she says, should not be released back into our streets to continue to terrorize more innocent Americans. Some of the worst criminal illegals released by Pritzker, the governor, and his fellow Illinois sanctuary politicians. Take a look at this lovely shot. This is Victor Manuel Mendoza Garcia, 49 years old, from Mexico. Arrested, convicted on 3 counts of aggravated kidnapping and ransom, sentenced to 18 years in prison, released. Knucklehead number 2, Juan Morales Martinez, illegal from Guatemala, arrested after a vehicle crash near Westfield. He was a passenger. Early reports of the crash show 2 fatalities, a county board member and his wife. Police also found an extended magazine and ammunition in the vehicle he was in. ICE lodged a detainer, arrested Morales after his release from the Clark County Jail, and the jail refused to cooperate with ICE. ICE officers suspected his release, performed an enforcement action outside of the jail, and he has now been removed from the U.S. Bye-bye. Knucklehead number 3, Amilcar Waldo Gonzalez Jimenez, illegal from Mexico, arrested and convicted for a count of driving under the influence and domestic battery, and 2 counts of criminal sexual assault. ICE detainer for Gonzalez Jimenez was not honored. Released. Roaming around. The list goes on and on and on and on. All these people, and this is just a small sample of the people that have been released out there into our communities. Thank you, sanctuary cities. Isn't that nice? Absolutely unbelievable. Well, on the ICE front, there is a pro-ICE saloon owner who is getting all the applause. And his quote is, "We're not backing down." An Idaho bar owner is facing death threats after a viral promo in which he offered free beer if you assist ICE. Old State Saloon owner Mark Fitzpatrick offering a month of free beer to those who help ICE identify and deport illegal immigrants. I love this guy. I think there's a little intro here before it actually starts. Really? Listen to this guy. Yeah, okay. Enough with the branding. Where's his audio? Where is his audio? What happened? Sorry, folks. I don't know why that's not working. Very strange. Very weird. Is it working now? I don't
Probably
know.
this will be the net. I mean, probably tied for the amount of reaction to that was this topic, which has been a contentious topic, really, for Americans around the country and illegals around the country, about what to do about this immigration problem that the United States has because of the complete disaster 4 years of the Biden administration, basically leaving open borders and essentially incentivizing some of the worst people in the world to come into this country has put us in a position now where, man, people are just like, again, they're like, enough is enough. This has gone crazy. So, we posted that, simply posted something that encourages people to support law enforcement, to support the efforts of our immigration, ICE, and to essentially, if, I just said, if anybody were to be able to provide ICE with information that would lead to the deportation of an illegal from Idaho, out of Idaho, that they would get a free beer for a month. And so I posted that, and it kind of took off a bit, and some big accounts started sharing it. And then, man, I couldn't believe it. DHS, Department of Homeland Security, retweeted that X post that I made on X.com. And then it just started going crazy.
Good on you. Nice job. This guy, apparently Idahoans love their beer. He said the saloon was flooded with praise and a bit of outrage. The Old State Saloon's promotion, posted November 29th on X, viewed 8 million times. Wow. Unbelievable. He said his bar's first controversial promotion came back in 2024 when he launched Heterosexual Awesomeness Month. He said his latest idea, inspired by 4 years of the Biden administration and their immigration policies. What liberals want to do is they attack you, he said. They go on attack and they start calling you names. Fitzpatrick and his family have been threatened. He's received disgusting messages and voicemails, including threats to torch his saloon. People are just outright saying, I should die for this, he says. It's really, really despicable. Fitzpatrick urged anybody dismissing his promotion to visit his bar, located in Eagle, Idaho, asserting that if any of these liberals come in and are willing to talk, they'd meet somebody who would sit down and talk with them, talk and listen to what they have to say. But he remains completely unfazed by the threats or anything else. He said the negative comments only make him want to double down. Good on you. So help out ICE. Get yourself a month of free beer. Why not? Why not? Oh my goodness. Hey, you know what's in this cup right here? Ugh. That, my friends, is Blackout Coffee. And Blackout Coffee is one of our proud sponsors and partners on this show. Stop giving your money to woke companies who don't appreciate our conservative values. Check out Blackout Coffee. And, a gear grab. Hey, check this out. Up to 50% off on mugs, tumblers, apparel. Nice. Not just a coffee, it's a lifestyle. Check that out. Hey, those are nice teas. Really nice. All right, their holiday edition flavors are back. Like I says, these things make great gifts, and they're not that $16.95, $17. Brilliant for a gift for your coffee-loving friends in all these holiday flavors. Peppermint mocha, candy cane, winter wonderland, and you see they've got pods also. And on some of their most popular brews, you can also get them ground. It's not just the beans. But look, they've got a Winter Warrior bundle, Christmas on the Go, Patriot Christmas bundle. These are all fantastic deals. They've got cold brew, their signature blends. My favorite is the Pitch Black Espresso. That's what I drink in this house, and you should be checking this out. Use the link in our show notes and head over there, check it out, buy some Christmas presents while you're there, but make sure that you use that link in our show notes. Even if you're going back to reorder, use the link so we get the credit for your visit. And if you're a first-time customer checking it out, J20 is our promo code, JAY20. J20 gets you 20% off your first order. Now, also at Blackout Coffee, you will always see they've got specials going on. Right now, it has to do with gear, some of their merch, but there are always coffee specials happening there. So if you combine that, and you're a first-time customer with that J20 code for 20% off, what a deal. All right. Thank you, Blackout Coffee, for being part of this show. We really do appreciate you being here and being a part of our program. All right. What else is going on? Oh, man. It just gets worse. A new book is out, and their target market is 5-year-olds. 5-year-olds. And this book claims that abortion is a superpower. A radical abortion group is selling a children's book that frames killing unborn babies in abortions as a superpower. Shout Your Abortion has been promoting a book aimed at children between 5 and 8 years old, and the book is called Abortion is Everything, which will begin shipping to purchasers this coming January, next month. A description on the website for the group says the book tells children about what abortion is and how it might feel and why people have abortions. This is the description of the book on the website. With accessible, inclusive language, Abortion is Everything frames abortion as the actualization of a uniquely human superpower, our capacity to imagine the future and make choices that lead us toward the life we envision. Abortion is a tool that allows human beings to shape our destinies, which has shaped the entire world around us, the book description says. Parents, caregivers, and educators who work with children have long been searching for a tool to talk with kids about abortion, especially given the volume of political noise currently surrounding the issue. The group said the book was written by artist and educator Rachel Kessler and Amelia Bono, illustrated by Emily Noakes, and apparently features vibrant watercolor-style pictures, of course aimed directly at the 5-year-olds. And it introduces the concept of abortion in a way that empowers parents and kids to begin rewriting our cultural scripts about abortion at the most foundational level. Unbelievable. This group was launched back in 2016, says it wants to normalize abortion and eradicate stigma. Their About Us page calls on abortion activists to build a collective that is committed to aiding and abetting abortion in the form of elevating resources, funding abortions, sharing information about pills, and saving independent clinics. So, to that end, they have written a book aimed at your 5-year-old child, which portrays abortion as a superpower. Yeah, very nice. Very nice. Let us head over to the other side of the planet for a moment, to Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is an Islamic country. Islam has some very strict rules about smoking, drinking, gambling. None of that is allowed in Islam. But in Saudi Arabia, they will sell you alcohol if you're rich enough. This kingdom of Saudi Arabia is extremely conservative. And their approach to social policy change, silent ambiguity. Legalizing alcohol has been absolutely no different. They have banned alcohol in Saudi Arabia for more than 70 years. So when whispers spread that an unmarked store in Riyadh, the capital, was quietly selling whiskey and champagne to wealthy foreign residents, it didn't take very long for a queue of cars to form a line outside of the store. Recent weeks, the liquor store, previously open only to diplomats who are exempt from the prohibition, has been selling to non Muslim foreigners who hold an expensive premium residency permit. Premium residency is a limited status you can get in Saudi Arabia, generally conferred on very, very wealthy or highly educated foreigners who work for government owned entities in sectors like healthcare. The customers are a mix of premium residents and diplomats. They spoke to the New York Times, of course, on condition of anonymity. In some cases, because they feared disrupting their newfound access to alcohol. There's been no public announcement made about the change in the conservative Islamic kingdom's alcohol policy, but on a sunny morning this past week, this reporter camped outside the Riyadh store and saw that business was brisk. This beige complex containing the store resembled dozens of others in the city's diplomatic quarter, secluded neighborhood filled with embassies. The store distinguished only by an enigmatic sign that read, "VAT exempt goods for diplomats only." A huge line of high-end SUVs approached the metal gate. Security guard peered at their driver's ID and decided whether or not they could pass. Shoppers came out of the store, describing a frenzied scene of eager new buyers crowding the aisles, purchasing thousands of dollars worth of booze. The loosening of these entry procedures coincides with the new dual pricing system. Oh, it's all about the money, money, money. I saw a receipt that showed a middling bottle of white wine cost $85, which is about 5 times the price here in the US. Nobody knows apparently who actually owns this store. A lot of details about how it operates suggest that the government is involved. Customers said they were allowed to buy a monthly quota that was linked to their government-issued ID number, and the smartphone app that diplomats use to gain access to the store, created by the Tax and Customs Authority. So, the system is very vague. Official silence surrounds this store. Here's the deal, though. If you're going to call yourself an Islamic country and abide by the laws and rules of Islam, it either applies or it doesn't. You ain't supposed to be closing one eye when it comes to this. If it's haram to drink alcohol in Islam, it's haram. Or gamble, or smoke. But apparently the government and good old Prince Mohammed remade the kingdom from top to bottom. Once this Saudi Arabia place was infamous for their religious police, strict dress code, ban on women driving. Now hosts mixed gender raves. Saudi women are free to drive and work and travel abroad as they please. Ooh, modernization. But again, if it's illegal in your faith, it's illegal. You don't close one eye to it. But off they go. Okay, that's fine. You do you. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Let's bring it back to the shores here between the Pacific and the Atlantic, shall we? And the Gulf of America. The lefties, who are constantly in search of a life, the lefties, always also known as the always aggravated crowd, have a new thing to freak out about. And guess what it is? A paint color. Yeah, the color of paint. We have seen some truly idiotic displays from the always triggered class who are mentally injured, perceived racism, aggression they find in almost anything and everything. And recently it's been lefty outrage that actress Sydney Sweeney looked good in a pair of jeans because she got good genes. And she has the audacity to also be white. She has the genes, though. Now, never mind the fact that everybody else has the same genes. In the minds of the left, it is clearly a racist ad designed to minimize people of color. These idiots. Now, the latest one is even more stupid, if you can believe it. Oh, yeah. Sit down. Pantone, which is a paint company, recently announced their Color of the Year, which they do every year. They pick out a color and they name it Color of the Year. And while it is not exactly inspiring, it's hardly insulting. The color is called Cloud Dancer. Nice name. It is officially Pantone 114201. And it is basically, here is the rough part, a shade of white. A neutral white that brings calm, clarity, and creative breath in a noisy world. Discover the serenity of Cloud Dancer. That's it right there in that little square. Color of the Year 2026. Well, suddenly the same folks who told us that representation doesn't matter are having an absolute nervous breakdown over a shade of white paint. Folks, you cannot make this stuff up. You wouldn't expect the wokesters over at the New York Times to let this massive controversy go by without them getting a word or two in. Oh no, they didn't disappoint either. Members of the New York Times style team were very quick to weigh in with their fake outrage. Vanessa Friedman, the announcement heralding Cloud Dancer as next year's color, features a woman all in white looking dreamily into a cloud-filled sky. Serenity is clearly the vibe, but given the recent political disclosure, when I hear white, less salubrious associations also leap to my mind. She says ones that I doubt Pantone took into the consideration, but could be looking pretty twisted for an uncomfortable end. Callie Holderman, also from the Times, one of their style editors, says, "It's certainly a conspicuous choice. Following a year in which DEI programs have been dismantled and the party in power has been debating how friendly to be with a white nationalist. That may not be what Pantone means by peace, unity, and cohesiveness, but I have to imagine it'll come up for some viewers." And Vaudicole, apparently also a stylist, very short on the words, said, "White is a loaded color on many levels." Please. Loaded with what exactly? It's a freaking color. Or non-color, if you prefer. Now, to be fair, not all the comments were of the race hustling variety. Some just said it was a boring choice. Frankly, it is kind of boring, but you can't help but ask, why do these people hate themselves so much? Seriously, to get all upset over a paint color. They're clutching their pearls and pulling their blue hair out. And the left is going to continue to push these racial conspiracies whenever possible. Might be fun to mock these low IQ complainers, but the effect over time is more sinister than you know. And it's exactly that kind of grievance obsession that brought us DEI, critical race theory, and woke, which have all been nothing but toxic for this country. Laugh at them, make jokes about them, point them out, point at them and laugh, because they deserve nothing more. It's a white paint. Oh my God. Absolute morons. A paint color. We're going back and forth between the bad news and the good news, and this is fantastic news. MAGA agenda coming to fruition again, folks. A steel company is firing back up and creating hundreds of jobs. Man, this will warm the cockles of your dear little heart. Trump's Make America Great Again agenda coming to fruition. The announcement that U.S. Steel will be firing up a blast furnace and will create hundreds of jobs for Americans. On Monday, yesterday on X, the White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt celebrated a headline in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. The company's mill in Granite City, Illinois, is going to resume making steel for the first time in 2 years, bringing much, much needed jobs to that area. The result of President Trump's America First economic policies. Leavitt wrote, mentioning the article's headline about the Granite City workers plant, U.S. Steel plans to restart one blast furnace and hire 400 workers. Man, this is the beginning of a comeback Granite City's been waiting for. Local reporters said about the impact of the mill coming back. U.S. Steel announced Granite City Works will fire up one of its blast furnaces by next spring. Hey, that ain't that far away, folks. AP pointing out the simple reason this is happening is that demand has returned, prompted the plant to resume steel making. U.S. Steel Thursday cited customer demand in beginning the process of restarting a blast furnace in the plant in southern Illinois, just across the Mississippi River from St. Louis. After several months of carefully analyzing customer demand, we made the decision to restart a blast furnace. That's the CEO David Burritt saying in a statement. Steel remains highly competitive and highly cyclical industry, but we are confident in our ability to safely and profitably operate the mill to meet 2026 demands. Wow. May seem small, 400 is not a big number, but it is a big number. And U.S. Steel restarting up one of their blast furnaces couldn't come at a better time. Nippon Steel and U.S. Steel working world-leading steel makers, best-in-class technologies, and manufacturing capabilities. It's all good news, folks. It is fantastic news. Thank you, U.S. Steel. Thank you, President Trump. And thank you to these policies that are making America great again. Absolutely love it. We picked on this guy mercilessly when he was doing his job because he deserved it. Well, now Health and Human Services just did to Biden's health official, Rachel Levine. You remember that freak? He's still got a portrait up, but what they've done is really pretty ballsy. There's the gas bag now, probably the ugliest man on the planet. Well, the Department of Health and Human Services quietly updated the official portrait of the former Biden-era assistant to Secretary for Health Admin, Rachel Levine, and it has sparked some outrage, mainly from Mr. Levine. He's not happy. Levine, who was born a biological male and is still a biological male, is transgender, which in former President Biden's mind was some kind of qualifying factor and high-ranking sub-cabinet role, saw the nameplate reverted. The nameplate on the picture has been switched to his birth name. It now reads Richard L. Levine, MD. I'm not kidding. Let me show you. There you go, check it out. There's his official portrait. And you see down below where the title is? Let me go closer. Richard L. Levine, MD. A spokesperson for HHS confirmed the name change, citing concerns about the accuracy of the admiral's name. They also took a jab at the former Assistant Secretary for Health's harmful policies. The priority is to ensure the information presented internally and externally by HHS reflects a gold standard of science. Andrew Dixon, spokesperson, HHS, said, "We remain committed to reversing harmful policies enacted by Levine and ensuring that biological reality guides our approach to public health." Now, there's an idea. Pennsylvania's Secretary of Health in 2020, Levine issued a directive similar to that of former New York Governor Cuomo, directing nursing homes to accept COVID-positive patients, and that despite moving his own mother out of a nursing home. Levine later admitted errors in the reporting of COVID deaths. But that was of very little concern. Boy, howdy, the folks at the White House at the time couldn't nominate Levine for a senior level appointment or get his tragic collision of DEI pseudo qualifications all crammed into one photo. Remember this? Remember this bullcrap? There he is, with the worst press secretary ever. Under Biden, Mr. Levine would go on to normalize sex change treatments for children, saying any restrictions on them were being enacted specifically for political and ideological purposes. Fortunately, that national embarrassment now has ended, and the portrait stands corrected as Richard Levine. He is particularly upset, by the way. He says the move was an act of bigotry against him. He said, "I'm not going to comment on this type of petty action." Sometimes it really hurts. It hurts so good. Biden, who was just about as much of a president as Levine, is a woman named Rachel. Like, not. Sorry, Richard, or perhaps more appropriately, Dick. Oh, my goodness. Hey, Who provides your mobile service? Is it Patriot Mobile? It's not. What's the matter with you? Patriot Mobile, folks, whenever something goes viral, you can rest assured frauds are going to jump on the bandwagon. They're all pretending, waving the flag. Oh, we're so patriotic. Guess what? They are not. For more than 10 years, Patriot Mobile has been America's only Christian, conservative, wireless provider, and they are right there in the front lines with us in the fight. They've been a great supporter of this show. They are the only cell phone service provider that's actually on the front lines defending our freedom. And there you can see is the web page. If you go to patriotmobile.com/J, switching is easy. When you switch, you're supporting a company that is defending free speech, religious freedom, the sanctity of life, our military, our first responders, and they are actively doing that. They do not donate any of their proceeds to left-leaning whatever companies or organizations or groups. They support our Christian conservative beliefs exclusively. It is very easy to make the switch. Even if you're under contract currently with another company, check out Patriot Mobile. They've got some programs there that can get you out of those contracts, and their customer service is 100% US-based. So you need help with picking a plan, they're there for you, they understand you, and they are there to help you, not upsell you a plan you don't need. Unlimited talk and text, you keep your phone, you keep your phone number. Nothing changes except who you are sending your money to. patriotmobile.com/J. The link is in our show notes. Please check them out. Make the switch today. And if you do using our link, patriotmobile.com/J, J-A-Y, your first month is free. Yep, I'm paying your first month's bill. Absolutely free for the first month when you get signed up. patriotmobile.com/J. Check them out. Can't go wrong. Everything stays the same, and you get great service with a company that is absolutely fantastic. All right, we saved this one from yesterday because I really wanted to take a little bit of time to go through this. It needs a little bit of time. But the headline is, "This is how you know Santa Claus is a conservative." Yeah. Christmas, as you know, has been under attack in the past several years. This year, certain Islamists and their allies taken aggressive attacks on Christians and celebration of Christmas and taken it to new depths. Muslims surrounding the Brussels Christmas markets. Christian children cry and family flees. It will not end well. Look at this mess. That is the Christmas market in Brussels, where these morons decided to protest. Of course, under the guise of being pro-Palestinian. The entire left has just given in and taken up the charge against the anti-Christian and anti-Semitic movements. Christmas pro-Palestinian group waited outside St. Patrick's Cathedral in Manhattan in order to harass churchgoers who are leaving the Christmas Mass. This is incredibly horrible. Look at this.
We want justice, you say how? Stop loving West now! We want justice, you say how?
Again, these are Christians celebrating Christmas Mass, and they have to put up with that crap. In spite of their attacks on Christmas, the left also would like to join in the fun when it's convenient. Make no mistake, though, Santa Claus ain't a leftist. And he has no use for this leftist ideology. Santa Claus is a conservative. How do we know? I got the receipts. I got 'em. Santa says, Merry Christmas. He doesn't say Happy Holidays or Merry Xmas. He says Merry Christmas or Happy Christmas. Same. Because like you and me, he hasn't forgotten what makes his global sleigh ride every morning on December 25th and why. You need proof? How about the classic poem from Clement Clark Moore called A Visit from St. Nicholas, in which Moore gives Santa Claus the last word when the jolly old elf exclaims, Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night. A godless leftist would never say such a thing. I know it may be nothing but style points, but Santa wears red. Gotta note, Santa only wears red suits, not blue, red. Same color as Trump's tie, same color as the majority of states across America. St. Nicholas from Myra, Greek bishop living in what is now Turkey, was the impetus behind the whole Santa Claus tradition. By the time the Dutch arrived in America, the legend of St. Nicholas had been transformed into the tradition of Sinterklaas, which eventually became Santa Claus, the round man in the red suit with the white beard. Now, to be sure, prior to his rise to his current level of worldwide fame, St. Nicholas did wear colors other than red, but with a little help from our friends over at Coca-Cola in the late 1930s, he settled on a color that suits him. Same color that we conservatives have embraced for years. Coincidence? I think not. Haddon Hubbard's Sunbloom from 1899 passed away in 1976, an American illustrator, best remembered for his Coca-Cola Company advertising art. Sunbloom often credited with giving America what we know now as Santa Claus. That is a piece of his art, where we get the whole image of Santa. Santa Claus also believes in personal accountability and responsibility. About the same time Santa settled on red for his wardrobe, John Frederick Coots and Haven Gillespie wrote a song called Santa Claus is Coming to Town, in which they adeptly captured Santa's strong belief in personal accountability and responsibility, cornerstone values of each and every one of us conservatives. He's making a list. He's checking it twice. He's going to find out who's naughty or nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa believes in the merit system. Tied to the issue of personal accountability, Santa also believes in the merit system. You have to earn the gifts under the tree Christmas morning. Whether you were good, you finished your mom's chores, mom or dad may have given you, doing well in school, no free rides with Santa Claus, ain't gonna happen. Santa does not believe in entitlement programs or using victimhood mentality as an excuse for bad behavior or a lack of achievement. Santa would not tell you to wait for the federal government to bail you out and solve your personal problems if you hit hard times. Oh, yeah, if it's a dire crisis, lean on that government, but don't wait for it. Otherwise, you're going to be waiting a very long time. Time you could have spent doing something to turn your life around for yourself. And he practices what he preaches. Did you notice Santa Claus gifts and his North Pole operation are privately funded? Oh, yeah. Bet you hadn't thought about that, huh? No federal funding for this guy. No NGOs, corporate welfare for the man in the white beard and the red hat. This is exactly the opposite of leftism. And another reason you know for sure that Santa Claus is a conservative. And Santa doesn't live by a double standard. Unlike leftists who believe in free speech when it's speech they like and censorship for speech they don't like, Santa Claus takes on all comers. He doesn't live by a double standard. Did you notice during COVID, Santa still came to your house? Even if you weren't wearing a mask or hadn't gotten the clot shot, he still showed up, didn't he? Meanwhile, a leftist president, a leftist media, a leftist culture trying to get you fired or banned from restaurants and public places if you had the audacity to disobey them. Because of something that, as it turns out, we were all right about all along. Hey, Karen. Now that's because Santa Claus accepts you for who you are. He won't cut you off his list, even if you don't completely agree with him or whether cookies and milks would be classified as health food. Now compare this to the left. They want to punish you for not liking everything they like and hating everything they hate. And that is a very long list. Certainly Santa Claus is not woke. In Santa's world, which is our world, he talks incessantly about good boys and good girls because those are his favorite people. He never mentions good non-binary beings or those who are questioning because he knows that there are only boys and girls, men and women. Rather, Santa is honest and truthful, and he realizes that the left's attempt to take one of our most factual facts in history of facthood and turn it on its head, and that is nothing but manipulative, duplicitous, and, as Santa likes to put it, naughty. He's a good, honest conservative. Santa would never dare undermine reality for children by planting seeds of doubt about some of the most basic facts of human biology. He also knows that giving one student or one employee an advantage over others in the name of justice is really just revenge thinking, and he has absolutely no use for that. Not Santa, oh no. In Santa's world, it is about equality, not equity. Santa Claus believes in doing the right thing for the right reasons, taking personal responsibility for your actions, treating everybody the same and with respect, being completely honest, and earning what you get. And it doesn't get much more conservative than that. 'Tis the season. So, Merry Christmas to all, and to all, a good night. That's it. Thanks for popping by. We'll see you again tomorrow for the Wednesday edition of the Jay Sheldon Show. Check out our sponsors. Pick yourself up some Blackout coffee as gifts, great holiday gift ideas, and make that switch over to Patriot Mobile. Use the links down there in our show notes. We'll see you tomorrow.